What's up, guys? UFC Fight Night Yadong versus Deiveson Figueiredo just happened yesterday, and it genuinely may have been one of the best fight cards we've had this year, at least the best fight night we've had this year. Back-to-back finishes on this entire card, 9 finishes, a bunch of KOs, a submission in the main event. This was a great fight card. Not a great fight night for Chinese fighters. I think Song Yadong was the only Chinese fighter to win tonight, but overall, a pretty good fight card. And unfortunately, I was not able to watch it live because I had my fight yesterday. And guys, guess what? They all wanted to know, what would you say if you didn't win? Well, I didn't win. So let's move on. I can't believe it. I missed one of the best, most generational fight night cards, best fight night card of this year. All these finishes, great performances, just so I could lose my fight yesterday. But it's okay. It's okay. It was a close fight. I thought I won it. I thought I won it. The judges disagreed, but that's okay. We move. And I forgot. And OKC lost yesterday. I'm like the only OKC fan in the world. OKC lost. I missed this great fight night, and I lost my fight. This genuinely might be my 9/11. That's okay. That's okay. I rewatched these fights. At least I rewatched the main card, so we'll cover that just to get my mind off of yesterday. Starting off with Alex Perez versus Sumerdaji. Now, this was actually a pretty good fight, in my opinion, as long as it lasted. In my opinion, now this is just my opinion. I think Sumerdaji won that first round, and I thought he won it pretty clearly. Alex Perez, a lot of his shots were bouncing off the guard. He got a couple body shots, but they were more slappy body shots while he was blitzing in, and he was getting caught by sneaky shots from Sumerdaji. I know 2 of the judges gave the first round to Alex Perez, but are we really going based off what the judges think? I think Sumerdaji won that first round, but it was razor close. It was razor close. Maybe they scored it for Perez because of that guillotine he had at the end of the first round. At no point was it locked in. Sumerdaji actually was just on top, throwing little pitter-patter shots from in that attempted guillotine from Alex Perez. But maybe that's why they gave it to Perez. Because on the feet, I think Sumerdaji was starting to take over toward the end of that first round. But I'm not mad at it. 2 of the judges gave it to Perez. Then in the second round, Sumerdaji dropped Alex Perez with, I believe, a check left hook, and then a straight right behind it. Really crisp shots. Then he kind of just jumped on Alex Perez and laid there. I know MMA fighters aren't the smartest people, but I kind of expected more from Sumerdaji. He seems like a very thinking fighter, not because he's Asian. Not because he's Asian. I just do think he seems like one of the smarter fighters in the division, but he just kind of jumped on Alex Perez and sat there and then stood him back up. And then the moment Alex Perez stood up, Sumerdaji shot a laser right roundhouse kick straight to the balls of Alex Perez, dropped him with that, and got a finish in the. No, I'm joking. It was a no contest. Alex Perez couldn't continue. I know a lot of people are saying Alex Perez, he probably just didn't want to keep fighting. He kind of gave up, knew he was going to lose after getting dropped. I disagree. No man that goes into the cage with Deiveson Figueiredo, I'm never calling a man like that a quitter. If you go into the cage with prime flyweight Deiveson Figueiredo, you're not a quitter in my eyes. I do think the shot was bad enough. Alex Perez even said it went right between the cup and his groin. Probably a couple toes just barely kicked it, but that's all that really needs to happen. It didn't look like a fake reaction. It happened instantly. He dropped down to the ground. I do think Sumerdaji would have won that fight if it kept on going, but I don't think Alex Perez was quitting. I do think it was a legitimate nut shot. So I hope they get this fight rebooked. It was a pretty good fight as long as it lasted, and I think Sumerdaji was going to take over. So us Sumerdaji enjoyers, we're really hoping that fight gets rebooked. But respect Alex Perez. Now, speaking of UFC fighter fight IQ, this may have been the lowest display of fight IQ ever. Jake Matthews may genuinely be... Whoa, I don't know if that's getting me demonetized. Not even monetized on YouTube. But anyway, Jake Matthews dropped Carlston Harris. And first of all, he kind of blobbed him out for this entire fight. He mauled him, basically. I don't like saying mauled because it reminds me of the Khabib Islam fans that say, someone got mauled in a close 3-2 decision, 48-47 decision. But he did maul Carlston Harris for most of this fight. And then in that third round, he dropped him. And I actually saw, because I didn't watch this fight live, but when I woke up, I saw a tweet that said, Jake Matthews is chasing that finish, or he senses a finish or something. It showed a clip of Jake Matthews dropping Carlston Harris. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, shoot. Jake Matthews must have just KO'd Carlston Harris because he genuinely dropped him butt up, face down. Like he genuinely looked like he was out cold. And then I watched this fight and I see Jake Matthews, instead of trying to finish him, just lays on him and blobs him out for the rest of the fight. Maybe one of the lowest displays of fight IQ ever. Maybe he had a bet on him by submission or a bet on himself by decision. I have no clue, but that's just a joke. I don't know if Jake Matthews can sue me for that. I'm just joking. But yeah, I have no clue what he was thinking there. Congratulations to Jake Matthews. It's like I said in my prediction video. He's genuinely one of the better fighters that's not ranked at welterweight right now. He has an argument for beating Neil Magny. That submission thing was a little fluky. He's a pretty good fighter, but maybe not the best fight IQ. But congratulations to Jake Matthews on clutching up this win, even if he's a little stupid. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Kai Asakura, welcome back to the win column. Woo! Woo! Now, this is actually my first fight. Now, it sounds like I'm a big Kai Asakura fan. This is my first fight in the UFC rooting for Kai Asakura. But man, after his 2 losses, I start to feel bad for the guy. I thought he was going to get cut if he lost this fight, especially against Cameron Smotherman. Cameron Smotherman is not the bottom of the barrel. He's never been finished in the UFC. He's 2-1 or 1-2, so not a horrible fighter on a 2-fight losing streak, but against decent comp, he's not the worst of the worst. And Kai Asakura genuinely went in here and made him look like he didn't even, not even that he doesn't belong in the UFC. He made him look like he doesn't belong in the sport. It generally looked like the difference between a professional fighter and an amateur fighter. Chris shots. I think Kai Asakura got hit by 1 clean shot in this whole fight and then just put him out cold in the first round. I think it was like a sweeping upper. I can't remember what the exact shot was, but drops him, puts him out cold, and then afterwards the camera zooms in on Cameron Smotherman's face, and he's like conscious but not really. Kai Asakura may have crazy power bantamweight. Merab has said that he's a great striker, super hard to take down. I wonder how much of his deficiencies in his grappling had to do with him cutting down to flyweight. I know we didn't learn much about his grappling here, but if his grappling can be improved at bantamweight, I do think he could be a ranked fighter, not a title contender, because he did just beat Cameron Smotherman. I can't say that yet, but the way he beat Cameron Smotherman, I do think he could beat a lot of these bantamweights, unranked bantamweights, and a couple ranked bantamweights, just from what we've seen. So congratulations to Kai Asakura. Now, moving up the card, we have another first-round slime out, another classic first-round slime out. Sergey Pavlovich colded Tyson Shera. He did what he does to blobs at heavyweight and colded him in the first round, in the first minute. I don't know how Sergey Pavlovich does it. His punches look like CGI. They don't look right. They kind of make me uncomfortable when I see his big looping shots coming forward. Like, it just doesn't look like that should be a thing that really exists. But he colded Tyson Teixeira. Not really Teixeira's fault. He did fall into the age-old curse of Russians beating Brazilians. However, Sergey Pavlovich is back in the win column. I don't know how anyone picked Teixeira. He lost the 3rd round to Tai Tuivasa, Tai Tuivlobster in 2026, and didn't really beat him dominantly in any rounds except through the grappling. And he's not out-grappling Sergey Pavlovich. He's going to be stuck on the feet with him. Got speed-mogged by 2025 Derek Lewis. I don't know how anyone was picking Tyson Teixeira. Sergey Pavlovich did exactly what he should have done. And honestly, he's sneakily putting himself back in the title contention column. I think if it wasn't for the logjam at heavyweight right now, Volkov would either be next for the title or would have fought for the title already. And Sergey Pavlovich would be able to just wait out for a title shot. However, unfortunately, because of the way the heavyweight division is moving right now, Aspinall out with an eye injury. Gane. I hate Gane. You know how much I would pay for Sergey for Sergey Pavlovich to slime out Cyril Gane. I don't know if it would happen, but I would love to see it. But with Cyril Gane, Alex Pereira fighting for the interim title, Volkov deserving a title shot as well. Volkov might even have to fight in the meantime. So Sergey Pavlovich will definitely have to fight in the meantime. I would love to see him fight Josh Hockett after Hockett beats Derek Lewis. We already know what's going to happen. Hockett's going to beat Derek Lewis, and I would love to see that Sergey Pavlovich Josh Hockett fight. I feel like that would definitely be a banger. So I think that's what should be next for Sergey Pavlovich. Now, this is the only fight I got wrong. Only fight I got wrong on the entire card. I predicted, and you can't even be mad at me for predicting Zhang Mingyang to beat Alonzo Minifield. Alonzo Minifield is genuinely, do I want to say it? I was going to say the worst ranked fighter at light heavyweight. Is he even ranked still? I think he is. The worst ranked fighters are either Johnny Walker or Alonzo Minifield, and Zhang Mingyang lost to both of them. I know he's only 27. He has time to improve. I don't know. Oh, he could genuinely become champ and have 50, 60 title defenses. And I would still not rate him for getting finished by Alonzo Minifield and Johnny Walker back to back. Now, this fight was actually a banger. I really did like this fight. I'm glad I got fight of the night. Zhang Mingyang, Alonzo Minifield came out immediately throwing bombs at each other. Even when they were in the clinch, they were throwing knees, elbows. It was a great, great fight as long as it lasted. But Alonzo Minifield was like in the matrix in this fight. Every time they threw, it was like he would barely slip out the way of a shot, throw a big looping overhand or hook or something, and land right on that blockhead of Zhang Mingyang. And somehow, with the shape of Zhang Mingyang's head, I thought he'd be in finish. Whoa. Oh my. I may genuinely have a concussion right now. My bad, guys. But I thought Zhang Mingyang would be impossible to finish like with like a headshot, like leg kicks or something. But with the shape of his head, I didn't think it was possible to knock him out. But Alonzo Minifield did it. And that was really the only thing I rated from Zhang Mingyang. He has decent power, but his power is, I don't know. He was hitting Alonzo Minifield with some pretty good shots. He rocked him with an elbow, but Alonzo Minifield doesn't have a great chin. If you can land that flush on Minifield and not finish him, I can't rate your power that highly. Same with the Johnny Walker fight. I thought maybe that was a fluke, but maybe his power just isn't that good. But I was rating his chin just because of the shape of his head. Just because the shape of his head, I rated his chin pretty highly. But I guess he has a decent chin, but it's not impossible to crack chin. I just don't know how I can rate Zhang Mingyang anymore. Unfortunately, I don't see a future for him in this division. Maybe he can improve, but I don't know. He'll have to make a lot of changes. And at this point, Chinese fighters had not won a single fight. Insane. Because I was watching this card. Like, I started with the first fight in the main card and was watching it throughout. So I could kind of feel like I was watching it live. And at this point, I was like, wait, I don't know. Are these Chinese fighters going to win any fights? I already knew Song Yadong won his fight because I watched that live right when I woke up. But I was like, man, I kind of feel bad for these Chinese fighters. Zhang Mingyang, he's lost twice in a row in China too, against Johnny Walker and Alonzo Minifield. Maybe he has pressure fighting on his home turf. Maybe let him fight in America next time. Yeah, I don't know what's next for either of them. I don't really care what's next for either of them, to be honest. Now, we have the main event. Song Yadong versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Song Yadong. Man, what can I say about Song Yadong? Title run starts now. No, I kind of predicted this. I knew Song Yadong would beat Deiveson Figueiredo. I did not expect by submission. I definitely didn't expect by guillotine, but I knew Song Yadong would beat Deiveson Figueiredo. But by submission is pretty impressive. Deiveson Figueiredo shot in with his head right in the guillotine. Song Yadong latched it up. I thought Figgy was going to get out of that. He jumped over to half guard, but Song Yadong was able to keep his legs wide open, and keep Deiveson Figueiredo in full guard. Subbed him. Deiveson Figueiredo tapped pretty quickly. Didn't really try too hard to get out of there, but I think he knew it was locked in already. Pretty good performance from Song Yadong. First round was kind of close, not very active from either of them, but I think they knew it was a 5-round fight. They knew that they had to start picking it up. Second round, Song Yadong picked it up pretty well, started landing good shots on Deiveson Figueiredo, and then subbed him at the very last seconds of that second round. I think he should fight Umar next. Song Yadong seems to be impossible to take down. I was a little surprised at first, and Deiveson Figueiredo took down Song Yadong, because I thought, like, man, that's a pretty good takedown. And then Song Yadong latched up that gilly immediately, so it doesn't really count. So shout out to Song Yadong. I do think he could give Umar a pretty hard fight, but I can't trust Yadong to beat to beat any high-level guys. I think he's like a perennial top 5 contender, number 5 guy. Can't beat anyone above him, but won't lose to anyone below him. So shout out to Song Yadong. Good job on winning this fight. Good job, like his little kid. Good job, bud. Hey, bud. Good job. Pat on the back. Good job, kid. Good job for winning this fight. And I'm sorry I didn't have the face cam on today. Also, guys, I'm a little bit bruised up and battered. Not feeling my greatest after, my fight, but that's okay. And anyway, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching. Peace.